basically, if you were to poach a lobster, you get some super hefty fines. Ooh, yeah, this is a great haul actually. Okay, so I'll tell you guys all about the actual trap too. Now, you can't even have traps out right now, so you're probably happening. It just sounds a lot more appetizing in a restaurant to be like, tap down on lobster tail today, rather than being like, oh, you know that Afton I had for lunch was just so good. So we call it the actual tail only for beauty purposes, kind of. And if you look down on this tail, as you would say, there's all these feathery things. These are called swimmerets or pleopods. So if you look at the very top set of that, we have these two different size claws. So basically, the thinner of the two is actually known. It was installed in 1992. Now it has a range of 13 nautical miles, with a nautical mile being just over a regular land mile. So you can actually see that light from further than 13 miles out into the harbor. Now back in 92, they also put this bright orange stripe on it. This stripe is actually a stripe that faces the mouth of the harbor and points directly south. So it's just a tool that was used by captains as a navigational point into the Halifax harbor.
This is Johnny and Joe, and Johnny's working on carving one of our marguerite wine crafts, and Joe is doing the snowflake ornaments, the 2014 design. And this gentleman's job is he will use a marker and he'll put a grid system around the glass so they know when to stop and to start the cut. So you can see it, the grid system on the piece. But all of the cuts are done by memory and they just use the marker as a guide for them.
How thick are those?
They're fairly thick. Like you can see the finished product.
Now, is yours thicker or lighter than Waterford?
I would say so. Like Waterford, I don't think they use as high a percentage of the metal content of lead. So you'll definitely notice like it might be a bit thinner or lighter. And they also don't do it by hand anymore. They do demonstrations, but they don't blow it or cut it by hand. That's actually kind of how we began our company. Did you know any of that history?
I knew a little bit, not a lot. That's why I asked.
Yeah, so back in 1996 is when our company started, and we started because Waterford actually switched to machine to create their products. So 14 of their craftsmen left Ireland and came here and started up our company. So we were kind of Irish beginnings, and they took a lot of like the training that they learned, but they wanted to give it a Nova Scotian spin. So they inspired our different patterns after different areas in Nova Scotia. Yeah.
It's 33% leaded crystal. This is called a batch, and it is potash, silica sand, and we get that mixed up and brought to us from Sweden. It actually our batch comes over from Europe, Sweden it comes from. And then in pellets, and we place it into the furnace over there and melt it down to a liquid state.
And cast it into the different...
Blown, see with those that's called a blowing iron, and that is actually, they gather up some crystal and they blow the crystal. Feel for it. We'll look at the photographs in a second. See, this is what it's like when you look at the liquid state. And this is them blowing it.